Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. Got a quick clip for you before we get to our tech tree spotlight. This is why you always use SAP in an Italian destroyer. You see Vittorio Cuniberti going against the Torrigio here. That's the ship I'm in. We are firing SAP. The Cuniberti commander is firing high explosive. And as you can see, yeah, he set me on fire. Cool story and everything. But we're doing way more damage to him than he is doing to me through this one fire. And the alpha strike of my SAP shells, I mean, he has more hit points than me. In theory, you should be winning this exchange. And, you know, he had to get help from somebody else. Now, I didn't kill him with my guns. But that being said, if he had been using SAP, he would have killed me a lot quicker. I had a totally unupgraded ship. All right, here's another thing you should consider when we're talking about these Italian destroyers. Here we're in the tier 7, not upgraded, the Cuniberti, and we're going to spot an enemy destroyer right here, a Fletcher. And I'm going to engage in a gunfight with a Fletcher. Now there is a Suzuya back there, trying to get the torpedoes lined up, so that gives him a free salvo or two. We're going to use our rolling smoke screen, and we are on fire. There's a good alpha strike. He's going to start backing up. He is kind of figuring out where we're at because we're within, because we're on fire. That's why he's spotting us. But we're able to really punch him pretty hard with this SAP. So again, we didn't necessarily win this gunfight. I mean, I did kill him before he killed me. But a lot of times you're going to be doing this exchange where you're going to kill the enemy destroyer, but you're also going to die in the attempt to kill the enemy destroyer. All right, on to the review of the Tier 3 Italian tech tree destroyer Turbine. I apologize to anyone who's Italian who heard me pronounce that. We're on the Solomon Islands. We're top tier. I do have stats. Let me give you a little history. Turbine, lead ship of her class, 8 destroyers built for the Regia Marina in the 1920s. The ship was launched in 1927. Blah, blah, blah. An enlargement of the Suaro class. You know, that's cool and everything. Laid down by the Odierno Attorney Orlando Company. You know, did training in the Red Sea. Blah, 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 World War II. I think it did actually there's a fair amount of history here. But it, not necessarily very successful in some of his attacks. It looks like the Turbine was surrendered to Germany and became part of a torpedo boat flotilla operating in the Aegean Sea, and used as an escort after that. And the ship was sunk in 1944, presumably by American aircraft. I want to say, I think it might have been Army Air Force aircraft. All right, there's a Wickus. We've got the semi-armor piercing loaded. As you saw from my previous clips, that is the way you make your money. Although not part of this video so far, I do find these guns are pretty accurate at range. There's a really nice hit on the Wickus, continuing to shoot over this little island here. That one left a little bit to be desired. So monitor your aim and impact point, but by and large I would consider these guns to be fairly accurate. We're talking about a 50 to 60% hit rate. You know, a lot of that may be just the operator error, as opposed to the guns weren't very accurate. There, you know, the Wickus just ran into a torpedo. We could have killed him if he had stayed alive. There's a solo base cap on Charlie, and we're just rolling out here. So the main role of these destroyers, I mentioned it in my Nazario Suaro video, the main role is killing enemy destroyers, capturing bases. You know what ship the Italian ships remind me a lot of in the gameplay that I've had? They remind me a lot of the Cossack, the OG Cossack, not the Cossack 38. So the Cossack 38 is a gunboat, only has 1 quad rack torpedoes. It does have some other stuff this ship doesn't have. in its consumables. But I pretty much said in my Cossack video, you're going to have to do everything if you want to get a lot of XP. You're going to have to capture bases, you're going to have to defend base caps, you're going to have to kill enemy destroyers, and then you're counting on kind of a lackluster torpedo complement to farm damage. And if you're good with the regular Cossack, you might be good with the Italian destroyers because, in my opinion, that's the entire line. I have all of the destroyers now after I got very angry at Wargaming and spent 15,750 doubloons to unlock 21 of those. Like, I don't know, I think it's kind of like a slot machine. They tell you what 3 prizes you're going to win. You pay 750, you win it. Anyway, I stopped spending after the 21st bundle, and I do have all the ships unlocked. So I will bring you reviews of all 6 Italian destroyers. This is the second one. The next 4 are going to be in early access, and I've already got the tier 7 fully upgraded. But we're going to try to go in order because I got the tier 4 fully upgraded too, and we'll just see how it goes. But I do not intend to do more than 1 a week after this week. All right, so here we are going into the Bravo cap again. Your job in a destroyer in a domination match is to capture the base caps. Your job in an Italian destroyer is to capture base caps and move to contact with enemy destroyers. Take a look at the teams that are left. Komsomolets. Now, our team hasn't lost anybody yet. And I'm in somebody else's smoke screen. So I still do have a rolling smoke available. Now I'm going to show you how weak these Italian torpedoes are. They are slow and they are low damage. So not like Paolo Emilio's torpedoes at all. Alright, don't be fooled by that. These are more like Leone torpedoes. So you can see we've got a Duguay-Tron here. He is not shooting at me. I can't damage him. I talked about in my Nazario Suaro video how the guns really can't do a lot of damage to cruisers. Full complement of torpedoes out into the water. One of them does miss off the back end, but even that is not enough to finish off an enemy ship, and then the teammate kill benches. So yeah, you have to hit all 6 torpedoes at this tier to maybe get a kill, and so may that be a lesson to you. I know I felt so much wiser after seeing that happen. So yeah, it's got good guns with SAP, although, my opinion, weak spot, broadside cruisers don't have armor piercing. I would have lit up the Duguay-Tron with armor piercing if we had had it available to us, but we do not. So we're going to get this base cap here. And there it is. And then, because there are not a lot of ships left and they're all far away from me, I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to go for the cruiser, or the aircraft carrier. And I'm going to use that time to talk about some of the stats. All right, going to WoW's builds. They do have the ship somewhat into WoW's builds. Your Sigma is 2.0. Your fires per minute with the HE are 2.02. These semi-armor piercing shells have a max damage of 2350, although they don't give me a shell penetration value. And the reaction time for the torpedoes is 8.3 seconds. As I like to say, not very impressive. We are going to think about torping at the Komsomolets, and then I think we are going to... Maybe we're going to start shooting at the Komsomolets, but I think at some point I am going to launch torpedoes. I just don't want to have it happen that I launch the torpedoes, he moves, they miss because they have such a long reaction time. This Arkansas, I tried to get at him earlier and it was not successful. I think he's actually going to be the ship that ends up killing me, so I'm going to torp at the Arkansas and continue on to the Komsomolets, safely ensconced in my rolling smoke screen. Now, kudos to the Arkansas captain. I don't remember that ship as being especially maneuverable or having long torpedo reaction time. Maybe he's using Admiral Dewey, I don't know. But he does dodge my torpedoes. In my opinion, torpedoes are terribly easy to dodge. when they are coming from an Italian destroyer. Alright, so we've got the Comsomolets here. We've got the semi-armor piercing loaded. He's given us more of a broadside right here. Maybe we'll see this SAP start to pay off here. So we went to full reverse. Now we're getting the broadside. Now we're aiming behind the smokestacks. That's where you aim. The Citadels start coming. 4 hits the Citadel. Another 4 hits the Citadel. High caliber metal. Continuing to shoot down airplanes. 3 more hits the Citadel, but we are killed by the Arkansas. Alright, back to WoW's builds for the rest of the stats. There are 10 destroyers at tier 3, and the Turbine is not introduced into this table. So, hit points 10,900. That would put you tied for third with the Clemson in this table. We're going to compare SAP to armor piercing, even though it doesn't have the same penetrating quality. The AP damage, number 1, Baraf's 2450, and you're just behind that at 2350. Torp damage, you're third from the bottom with 7333, just 100 points above the Itzislav. Max speed, this ship is 33 knots. You are at the very bottom. Sea detectability, you are also the worst in the game at the tier. So bad speed, high detectability, weak torpedo damage. You got SAP, but it can't do what armor piercing does. You do have a lot of hit points. So I would use your SAP to punish those enemy destroyers, take them out, and then you got to do the little things. You got to cap bases, you got to defend caps. You know, you use your speed boost, your emergency engine power to turn around, turn tail, and start to get away, or maybe get out of range if some ship tries to run you down. You know, you're going to have to work on managing your damage. And I don't expect any of this to change as we go up the line. Also, these ships have terrible AA. In any tier of the Italian destroyers, you can be easily neutralized by a competent carrier commander, especially if you are in a match with the Ark Royal. So we're waiting for the Arkansas to die here, and he finally dies, thanks to our aircraft carrier, the Langley. All right, here in the victory screen, high caliber metal, 57,286 total damage, 43 main battery strikes, 5 torpedo hits, 1 kill, 11 hits to Citadel, a solo base cap and an assisted base cap. We ended up with 146,420 dude silver and 3032 ship XP and commander XP in Turbine. And if it's high caliber metal at this tier, it's good enough for me. I'm not saying you can't have a better game, but we did end up at the top of the board. 1 medal, 1 big kill, 2021 base XP. Maybe after that new destroyer commander gets unlocked, but I actually wouldn't recommend him for this ship. I recommend Rizzo for every ship in the line, although I don't think I'm using Rizzo in this match. I think we're using the other commander, Fulgozi. Anyway, let's go back to the port and check out Turbine. All right, here we are in the port. Aiming system mod 1, and the Turbine is fully upgraded. You got 3 charges of the exhaust smoke generator, lasts for just over 27 seconds. 3 charges of this emergency engine power, lasts for 15 seconds. We didn't use any booster flags, got this temporary Type 1 camo, and the early adopter flag. Moving on to the specifications, 10,900 hit points, as we mentioned earlier. Got those 2 twin 120 millimeter turrets, 10.1 kilometer firing range, 5.5 second reload, 18 second turn time. That's why I recommend the other commander, Rizzo. HE shells, 1,700 max damage, 5% fire chance. SAP shells, 2,350 max damage. 2 triple tube launchers, reload every 75 seconds. Max damage a paltry 7,333. 8 kilometer range, that's nice. 51 knots, that's terrible. Detectability 1,100 meters. AA defense, well, you do have some AA, so congrats. Max speed, 33 knots. Again, the slowest, 510 meters turning circle. 3.1 second rudder shift time, a little on the sluggish side. And I've noticed that as well. Concealment, don't be deceived by the rating of 100. 5.1 on the surface, 2.8 from the air, 2.1 when firing in smoke. Take a look at the stats. 11 games, 5 wins, 6 losses. Main battery accuracy, 56%. So I guess that's something you could hang your hat on if you chose to do so. But that's how I performed so far in Turbine. This is my only match that I played with Fulgozi, and I do not recommend him. I recommend Rizzo. All right, base trait, increase that smokescreen deployment time. We've got Bai and Swirsky as our inspirations over there. And we're running a survivability build. And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying these ships are more gunboats, gun-focused. Build into that. Use your gunboat commander, Rizzo. You don't have them highly ranked up. Invest some commander skill points into them. Invest those commendations, promotion orders, and insignias, and get Rizzo boosted up. Anyway, that's Turbine. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll keep going up this line. Stay tuned on this channel. Thanks.